Welcome back. You're watching BBC World News. As we've been covering over the programme, the EU has got a lot on its plate, to say the least, with Brexit, climate change, and today they have also agreed on a €1.8 trillion budget and COVID recovery package after EU leaders agreed to weaken plans to withhold funding from member states who violated the bloc's commitment to the rule of law. The government of Hungary and Poland had threatened to veto the budget. Both have been accused by the EU of violating equality and rule of law commitments regarding access to abortion, LGBT rights and judicial independence. The deal will now mean funding can only be withdrawn on rule of law violations concerning the proper use of EU money. Both countries will also have the opportunity to appeal use of the new mechanism before it comes into force, which could take up to 2 years. It is complicated, to say the least, but at the heart of it is a fundamental question of how far countries should be allowed to stray from the principles and values of the European Union before sanctions are imposed. Well, in a moment, I'll be joined by Judit Varga, Hungary's Justice Minister. But first, let me just show you a tweet that Judit Varga posted a few days ago. It said, "Victory!" ! We succeeded in separating ideological expectations from financial aid during a pandemic and prevented political blackmail. Well, Judit Varga joins me now from Budapest. Welcome, Judit Varga. Thank you so much for joining us on BBC World News.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
We just referred to your tweet there where you said victory. I'm just wondering how you ascertain that it is a victory for Hungary, given the fact that we understand you are about to go back down the legal route to Europe's highest court to look at the legality of the regulations of this rule of law.
Before answering your question, let me shortly congratulate you because you successfully organized the first mass vaccination against COVID. This is a great achievement of the country, so well done for that. Well, I think the biggest victory is for common sense, what happened yesterday, because finally Europe achieved to set aside ideological debates and focus on fighting the pandemic and the economic consequences of it, which was from the very first moment 2.5 years ago when the Commission proposal came to light, our position to preserve the status quo. It is just not possible under rule of law in the European Union to circumvent the treaties and to use any kind of political blackmailing tool to put pressure on countries through the budget to change their position on many important issues which are also affecting the future of Europe. Here, migration policy and family policy are the primary importance. This actually was a successful...
Well, forgive me for interrupting you. I mean, they wouldn't call it political blackmail, as you've just stated. I'm just wondering if you can share with our viewers how much of the EU budget that Hungary is to get.
It is a huge budget. It's an unprecedented package, actually, for the whole European community.
Can you give us a figure on that?
It is very complicated to put together, but let me just give a hint on the cohesion funding, which is 22 billion in 7 years, which was also the greatest achievement in the July agreement of the European Council.
Because I understand from what we've been looking at and sources that it's about 8 billion that you'll stand to get within the next financial year. And with that in mind, I'm sure many people watching this are thinking you're willing to take the money, but you're not willing to play ball in terms of the EU democratic principles. What's your position on that?
I categorically refuse this, and it's from a moral point of view not a legitimate position to state this, because in the European common market it is a win-win position for all of us. So it does not mean that if Hungary is spending cohesion money, the benefits in the GDP are still staying in the country. So this is a win-win situation for all of us. This is the common market, how it works. This is the mathematics of it. What we are here standing for is preserving status quo, because it just cannot just happen that without legal clarity and clear definitions, just reading in The Guardian that there is a problem in a country, you are allowed to launch any kind of sanctioning procedure. So let's separate these things and let's abide by the rules of the European Union. And that's what we always ask for, because although Hungary is not a net payer country, still the Hungarian citizens are paying into this budget. So it is the interest of all of us to spend this money according to the rules. Well, according to the financial regulation, Europe Europe already has a lot of tools to protect the financial interest of the budget. So there was no added value in pushing for a very, very vague, undefinite rule of law procedure. So that's why we wanted guarantees. So the fair treatment and the fair trial and the legal security is provided. And that's what we actually got yesterday.
OK, well, we've run out of time, annoyingly. Such is the nature of live news that we do here. Perhaps we can continue this conversation, because I know that the legal process will take some years to come, and we'll see how that fares in the meantime. Judit Varga, thank you so much.